Okay. Oh, no, no, wrong one again. Oh. Wow, what a way to start. Holy smokes, did I just get... I don't even... I don't know what that was. I apologize. All downhill from here is exactly right. Mindy, how you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Says, hello, everyone. First time on a live as I just discovered this channel the other night. Well, thank you so much, Mindy. I appreciate you being here. This is your first live stream. We usually don't have much of an agenda. It's more of a bunch of fish nerds just getting together and talking about fish, movies, food, life, whatever. We go for 2 hours. With the first hour, we specifically try to keep the fish, and then the second hour, kind of open it up to whatever y'all want to talk about. So that being said, I do have a couple of announcements. I do want to go over my social medias with everyone because I did have a report of someone faking to be me, although I don't have my Instagram link ready. But I'm gonna share a few things for you. One, just so you can add this stuff to your favorites, if you will. My official Twitter. That's my official Twitter. I did have Facebook here. Where did my Facebook go? That's unfortunate. Let's see. I went a little long in the last stream and I had a bunch of stuff to do, so here we go. We'll get this one for you. This is the Facebook group. Highly recommend if anyone's on Facebook, come check out the group. A lot of good people sharing pictures and stories of fish and just general fish goodness, I guess. Jamie McDonald, member for 50 months. Not my first live stream, but I'm glad to be with y'all. Thank you so much. The longest member and director of the channel, Jamie McDonald. Thank you so much. The Twitter is new. Only 27 followers. I know a lot of people don't like Twitter. I didn't like it for a long time, but I'm also really terrible at my job, which is online. I hate saying influencer, content creator. I don't know. I feel like there's an opportunity at Twitter. There's not a lot of fish people on Twitter, so I decided to give it a go again. I did it a couple years ago, deleted it, started it back up because there's a lack of fish content on Twitter, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to bring in new people, not only hopefully to the hobby, but also to my little channel here. So that's why I'm on Twitter now. So check it out, 27 followers. The Facebook group, that's a little better. We got over 3,000 members there, and most of them are inactive, but there's a lot of cool stuff going on in there, so I'd highly recommend that. If you're on Facebook, it's a good place to just share content. It's easily moderated, and I can have conversations with everyone, so that's pretty cool. Also, going to get my website in here, add that to your favorites. So the website here, SteenfottAquatics.com. I've started a blog. I'm blogging now. I'm a blogger. And I've only got 3 blogs up there right now, but check it out. And they're very basic. Same with Twitter, very basic stuff right now. I'm just trying to get content out there. Twitter is kind of a mix of pretty, like, you can tell, right, that it's you could tell which one of my Twitter posts are for trying to find new people, beginners, and which one of my posts are just me being stupid. And so yeah, the website though, I will, once I start breeding corridors, that's where you're going to find a lot of blogs about breeding and everything that's going on in the fish room. So check that out. And then obviously this is my official YouTube channel. But yes, I did have a imposter on Instagram, the one that I don't have up. But my Instagram is just Steenfott Aquatics. Pretty easy to find. There's a little over 4,000 followers there. That's me. If you get a message from me asking for anything, it is not me. I just want to make that clear. I never asked for you guys to send me money. I don't ask for anything, right? I'm not going to be like, hey, you won an FX4, but you got to pay for shipping, so send me $50. Never going to happen, right? My giveaways are 100% free all the time. Nancy B in Tennessee gifted 5 Steenfott Aquatics memberships. Thank you so much. If you're unsure of how the memberships work, as far as being gifted, they work by participation. So the more you chat, the more you thumbs up, those people are at the front of the list. So that doesn't mean start spamming. Don't start spamming. Yes, I'm actually tweeting. But, engage. The more you engage, the more odds you are of winning a membership. What do you get with the membership? Just another live stream. I mean, I'm going to be honest. It's kind of, you got to be like a real hardcore like fan of me, which is weird to say. But to be honest, our member streams, we rarely talk about fish. There's some fish questions there, but, we just hang out and have a good time again. And that's what it's all about. So that's where I am. That's where you can find me. Want to get that out of the way. Again, we'll never ask you guys to pay for anything ever in a PM, which is what we used to call it back in the days. Now it's DM. Used to be PM, folks. It's PM. Private message. All right. Okay, so what else do I got to announce here? Why don't we get the fish of the week out of the way real quick? Because this is a fish that I really love. I've talked about this fish a lot. So we're going to take a quick look. Let's head on over to Dan's Fish. Of course, I'm an affiliate for Dan's Fish. That's kind of the whole point of this thing. But, maybe you'll learn something. Let's go here. All right, we are going to scroll down. Oh, these are cool. The imitator catfishes are back in stock. I got to get some of those eventually. Where was this at? Right. Can you guess which one it's going to be? Pseudomygil luminatus for $10. This is an amazing price, folks, especially knowing where these fish came from. Super good quality fish right here. And look at this fish. Yellow with blue eyes. These are called blue eye rainbows, right? Obviously, you can see. But I will say that generally they're going to be a little more purple, which you can kind of see it in his belly right there. So they're kind of a purpley, bluish, yellow body with the blue eyes, and their behavior, as well as their looks, is like this female, right, male, is what makes this fish. If you've never seen pseudomygil, so they're not really a schooling fish, but they are a shoaling fish, so you definitely want a group. I would recommend at least 6. But they spar a lot, and they're not hurting each other when they spar, but they have this dance that's really amazing. I have a video of it, but I couldn't find it. I don't know. I've filmed these guys so often, but I just could not find one of my videos with them in it. I failed miserably. But yeah, fish of the week. Pseudomygil luminatus. Look them up. Do your research. They stay small. Good nano fish. Perfect for a 10-gallon tank. They're from Papua New Guinea. Super peaceful. They do really well with shrimp. Obviously, they have really small mouths. They're not gonna go after your shrimp. They might get like a 1-day-old shrimplet, maybe, but they're not gonna just devour your shrimp population. It's just not gonna happen. Omnivore, perfectly fine with flake. Really love freeze-dried food though. More protein. They're omnivore, but I would lean protein, a little protein heavy. And yeah, just super hardy. They can go in just about any kind of water quality, or not quality, but any kind of water parameters that you got. I don't think there's anywhere that this fish can't live. It's just pretty awesome, beautiful. Highly recommend it. Get 100 of them, even though there's only 75. And yeah, that's what I got for you. Let's see what you guys got going on here. Leslie Perry says, you influence me. All right. Hey, look, you can gift memberships on mobile now. I had no idea. All right. Chris, the Mad Aquarius Big. What's going on, buddy? Says Bob also does all his Twitter posts wearing only a thong. This is true. I'm just kidding. That's my OnlyFans. I didn't want to share my OnlyFans because this is, a family-friendly stream. But yeah, that's on OnlyFans. Mystery Snail Gardens. I believe this right here is from you. Thank you very much. I won that on Stephen P. Awkward, whatever. Stephen P's live stream. Pretty happy about that. People, where are the likes? Oh, yeah. Make friends with that like button. Don't be shy. It likes you. Like it back. And, yeah. Nancy B in Tennessee says, speaking of the Facebook group, I just posted a short video of my rainbow shiner eggs. You can see them wiggling around. See, this is exactly, trust, I hate Facebook, but I've been having a lot of fun with this Facebook group, posting like small little updates, my unboxing that I got from Dan's Fish, and y'all can participate and post things like this as well. I love it. I'm having so much fun over there. And I'm not, wait. Humalati? What? I don't know what you're talking about, but he said, I'm not willing to make the behavioral changes necessary. Twitter is where it's at. I don't know what that means, but I agree. It's just one of those things. A lot of people don't like Twitter. It's no different than any other social media. Once the algorithm figures out what you like, you can start avoiding all that crap that everybody knows is on Twitter. I've got it pretty much narrowed down to where it only sends me stuff I want to see. I don't get involved with all the Twitter drama, if you will. Leslie Perry gifted 5 Steenfott Aquatics memberships as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. JR Cyber Pastor, big fan, old school, re-entering the hobby, and yes, I like blue Acara. Well, who doesn't? I have a very short history with blue Acaras. It's nothing I've never kept long term, but I mean, they're a beautiful fish. How can you not like them? Jeremy Salazar says, hey Bob, can you mix rainbows with peacocks in 150 gallon? Thanks. Hope you're feeling better. You can, but I'd be very specific on the species. So lots of rainbows can tolerate like Rift Lake conditions. However, when I've actually done this before, and I mixed just regular old Australian rainbows in with my peacocks, because the Australian rainbows get big. Yeah, I'm talking about like the $2 special at Petco, Australian rainbow fish. They get large. Their body is silver, but they do get some very nice colors in their fins. That's the only thing I'd be worried about. Peacocks are not generally like super aggressive like Mbunas, but you're definitely going to want a bigger species. Like I wouldn't do Praycocks. I wouldn't do like Kamaka. I would definitely do one of the bigger ones. And I wouldn't do Glossolepis because they have the longer fins, and that might become an issue. How many Ricos behind is Bob today? I'm not that far behind. Amissa says, I gave up on Similis for now, but there are 12 Corridors Armadas arriving tomorrow. Nice. My new one, the only new ones I've gotten since the last live stream, which I feel like I've only gotten one new species, are the CW62 that I got from Dan's Fish. Leslie Perry says, I'm so glad you're doing the Facebook thing. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Corey talked me into it, and I'm glad he did, because I created the group, I think back in like 2016, and it was fun for a little bit, but there was just so much spam back then. There wasn't a lot of control. And now, like, there's, as far as like moderation, you can do way more things to keep that crap out of your group. So it's been fun. It's been fun so far. Rocky and Miles says, wishing my rainbows would breed, but nothing yet after 4 months. Well, they might not be ready. I mean, I don't know how old they are, but, hopefully. Sharpie Aquatics says, hi, this is Mrs. Sharpie. Please wish Sharpie Aquatics a happy 60th birthday today. The big 6-0. Well, you know what they say. 60 is the new 40. So happy birthday. I hope you got 40 more in you. And, make it a good one. Have a special night. I mean, you're in my stream, so obviously it's special, right? That rainbow that he showed, how big do they grow? About, Teresa, I would say about an inch, maybe a little bit more, and also maybe a little bit less. But generally, they're going to be right around an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter, really small. They're technically pseudomcgills are not rainbow fish, but they are. Hard, I'm not going to get into it. They're rainbow fish, but there's a reason they don't look like any other rainbow fish. Teresa says, happy birthday. Yes. If I could sing, I would sing you happy birthday, but I feel like I would lose too many subscribers if I started singing. The 90s are coming back. You're talking about my hoodie? This is my Fresh Prince hoodie. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air hoodie. JR Cyber Pastor says, how often do you go live, Bob? I watch on YouTube. Every Monday, 5 p.m. PST for the last, since 2016. I've been streaming every Monday. Do I keep Corridora's CW27? I'm going to say no, but I'm also going to double check because I don't remember that one offhand. But I'm pretty sure I don't. Looking for, and look at that. I do. I do. C154. That's why I don't recognize them. A problem we have with two different entities creating numbers. Obviously, we have plecos, we have L numbers, we have LDA numbers. With Corridoras, we have C, and then we have CW. I don't know. Can't we all just get along? Can we just agree to just have one? So yeah, the Corridoras Brevirostris. I'm not getting that right. But yep, I have maybe 8-ish. They're in a 20-gallon with lots of plants, so I don't know exactly. I think I bought 12 and then lost a couple, and I think I'm down to about 8 or 9. But yep, I do have that species. Did you have a specific question about them? Bob says, I think my Synodontis, Raphael, and Dwarf Draft Catfish will have to go. What kind of Synodontis? My Fahaka got a new taste for those, for their barbells. Oof. Yeah. In my experience, like, you can keep fish with Fahakas, but they just can't be bottom dwellers like catfish. Even if you know, they're not aggressive, like my Mabu Puffer. Mabu Puffers are not aggressive. I don't care what anyone says. I still lost a couple Corridoras to an accidental chomp, right? You throw in clams, the Corridoras go for them. The Puffer, like, makes a mad dash for them. And every once in a while, it got, you know, I got a Corridora by accident. So I had to remove them all. I had bushy nose plecos in there as well. Got rid of them all, except for one. There was one I could never catch. And I actually still have them, so. That's unfortunate, though. Yeah. But those large puffers, bottom dwellers. It's just a matter of time, really. Not sure everyone agrees with Corridor's world, so splits happen. I might get it, but come on. Can't we all be adults here? I mean, let's make some compromise. Teresa says, I got my co-op iron and medicine for Popeye for my betta. Use them both tonight. Hope it works. All right. Hopefully. Popeye is, what am I trying to say here? I feel like I'm just stating the obvious. It's like one of those things, like, it's either really good, the outcome, or really bad. But just stating the obvious. Leo says, according to rainbow people, they ain't rainbows now. Well, they're always going to be rainbows in my book, and I am the rain. Look at my shirt. If I'm not a rainbow person, like, I am definitely an expert. A self-proclaimed expert. They're rainbow fish. Let's be inclusive here. All right. Mel says, no specific question about them. Was just curious. I have a two CW27. Haven't been able to find more, but they are my favorite. Where did I just see them for sale? There's somewhere that has them. I know it. It might be this one place. Let me check. Check real quick. If it's not this place, then then I definitely don't remember. Brevs. Where are the Brevs? Of course, it could have been this place and they sold out. Yeah, I don't see them anymore. Man, maybe I'll remember before the end of the stream. Fishroom ABQ, what's going on, buddy? Oh, let me check my email. I'm not sure if you responded to me yet. Not yet. I'll keep an eye out for that. Fishroom ABQ says, I just purchased some Poultry Corridoras to add to my personal collection at home for breeding. Super jealous. I had Corridoras Poulters maybe 4 years ago and stupidly got rid of them. Man, that's a nice one. They get really big too. Really, really cool. Atkins Nature Aquarium, what's going on, buddy? Says, just got off work. I just started work 20 minutes ago. I think I was late. Maybe 15 minutes ago. UPS are living the dream with the peach. Thank you so much. $1.50 super chat. I appreciate it. Frank says, barbell melt frustration. First tank with Julii and gravel. Second Carib sea sand and pandas. Ammonia and nitrate 0. Nitrate. Ammonia and nitrite 0. Nitrate approximately 25. Water change 30% or more weekly. Suggestions. All right, let me read this. Gravel. Got rid of that. Second Carib sea sand and pandas. So there's a few things. Obviously, one of them is gravel, right? Sharp gravel. You're on sand now. You don't have that. Second would be something like bacterial in the substrate. To me, like, I'm reading this and I'm reading like you swapped out the gravel for sand. And so the sand should be new, meaning it shouldn't be that dirty. If it's an older tank, I would keep up with the water changes, but I would gravel vac. There's something in the substrate that might be doing harm to them. Again, that's if it's like older substrate. If you like just threw that sand in there, then that's not it. But those are the first two things that come to my mind. New people may not know this, but Bob used to be a rainbow guy before he was a Cory guy. I'm still a rainbow guy. I still have at least a dozen species of rainbows. And I don't think I wouldn't call myself a Corydoras guy yet. That's the goal. Like, that's the end of the year goal, right? Breed a couple dozen species, be a Corydoras guy, and I'm documenting it all. I'm hoping I can give some talks about it. Johnny says, let's get very controversial and start calling Telematherina rainbows too. Telematherina rainbows too. I mean, what's the big deal? Like, none of us are scientists. Well, I mean, maybe some of you are, but none of us are ichthyologists. So what's the big deal? It's not going to hurt anything. You're spreading misinformation, Bob. Shut up. We don't care. Rainbowfish are awesome. Matt says, I'm trying to decide whether to get Robustus or Barbatus. Do you have a preference? I don't think so. If you were to ask me that question right now, I would get Barbatus just because I don't have any. I don't have any Robustus either, but I don't have any species of Scleromastics right now. So I personally would go with the Barbatus. I think they're awesome. I think they look good. Robustus are huge though, so they're a full-grown Robustus is very impressive. That's a tough call for me, but I'm going Barbatus. You should probably go Robustus because Barbatus are always available. Robustus are probably less common. All right. Is it true similar species of Corys tend to school together when there isn't a significant number of their own type? This is something that I actually have a lot of experience on right now because while I'm rebuilding the fish room, I've got tanks with like 3 or 4 species. Like I've got a 40 breeder right here with 5 species of Corys in it. All 5 species school separately. There's at least 8 of every species. So actually there's 4 Corydoras and 1 Aspidoras. They all school together, not like species wise, but their own species all school together. Like I have Lortoensis. They're just hanging out in the sand in one group right now, just hanging out in one spot. Whereas on the other side, my Venezuelans are schooling together on the other side. The Lepardis, that sounds like. Anyways, they kind of hang out. They're a little more bashful, but they hang out together. However, if you had like 1 albino, 1 paleotis, 1 julii, 1 sturbi, it is most likely that they will all school together. But just know, the evidence is in. Clearly, they like schooling with their own kind. And he says, loving the guitars back there. Looks like my place, my husband, and all his guitars and his giant Kronos keyboard. One day we'll get a rock session going, a jam out. Is that what the kids call it? I don't know. John the Stir Fry guy says, new people also might not know Bob is also an Oscar guy and loves keeping Oscars, and his favorite band is the Beastie Boys, and he's also a cat person and hates dogs. That couldn't be more true. Teresa says, can I put fake and real plants in the same tank? Absolutely. There's nothing really wrong with fake plants. I would be careful what you put in. Some fake plants can actually cause damage to your fish, meaning that if they're swimming around and they get spooked and they accidentally like just, like when you turn on the lights and they all go, whoo, if they go into like some of those bigger leaved fake plants, they can actually like stab them, cause some harm, poke out an eyeball. Not going to happen with real plants. Maybe a nubias, but really not. It's not going to happen. So some of the fake plants are kind of dangerous. So I would kind of stick to some of the smaller leaved fake plants. But that's just me. Atkins says, I just want more pandas. Had them breed once, but something happened and they stopped. It's always the pandas, man. They're always the troublemakers. Where's Rebecca when you need her? She would be fun to get on the stream. That'd be fun. How many FX6s for a 40 breeder? I know you're trolling, but have you guys seen the FX2? Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. I just saw it a week ago. I'm not excited about it at all. Like, I'm not going to get one. I was just like, oh, an FX2. That's weird. Matt Gray says the aquarium co-op light does not spook fish. That is true. That is true. It's an awesome light. Mine do not school together. How do they know they are different? How do they know they are different? Probably the same way like a Swede knows he's different than a German. I don't know. I'm sure they know. Anyways. I have small fish like tetra and snails, and somewhere one frog. It's those frogs. It's in there somewhere. And guppies, but only 4. I would love to try rainbows. They are beautiful. Yeah, just know with rainbows, they prefer longer tanks. They're very active. They love swimming. And even like the smaller species like the praecox, the kamakas, would appreciate like a 4-foot tank. Oh, boy, everyone's trolling tonight. Best thumbnail on the interwebs. I don't even remember what it is. The Bengal loach. What's up with the stickers? Do we get them if we donate to the cause? What stickers? I'm unaware of any stickers. I don't do stickers, so I'm not sure. Bob could also belong to the Columbia Music Club. I did that once. I got 9 CDs for 1 penny. Best deal ever. I think I was like 12 or 13, and I don't know whatever happened to that. What are the best fish to breed for profit in a 10-gallon? Honestly, I would say shrimp would be number 1, and then guppies or endlers would probably be number 2. But it also depends on where you are. Like, what's your market? Like here, definitely guppies, endlers, and shrimps in the Pacific Northwest sell out as fast as you can produce them. What's up, Bob? Hope you're doing well. T-Shot, I am doing well. Thanks, buddy. Hope you're doing well, too. Oh, are you talking about the little things next to your name? Yeah, those are for members. Yeah, sorry. I know lots of people do stickers, so my mind just went to stickers. But, yeah. Anyways. Frank says, sand is newer, 20 long tank with 2 rams and 6 pencils. Maybe try Marison, although in Canada it's going to use my last supply unless I border hop. Yeah, so if it's newer sand, I would definitely start treating. You can treat Corys with salt. I'd be very careful, but I do have a video on it if you're so inclined. But it is possible to use salt with Corydores. But if you have medication, I'd probably go that route. JR says, Bob, by the way, I'm a musician too. Bass and guitar and synth. Got some arthritis slowing me down. I'm definitely not the best guitar player. I love it, but I'm not the best. I'm way better at a piano behind me. Bob, did you see the endlers from Dan's video today? They looked amazing. I haven't watched the video yet. I've been too busy today to sit down. I haven't even had lunch yet, and it's already 5:30. I don't even think I had breakfast, to be honest. Just been one of those days, man. It's just one of those days where everything is just nonstop. Just so much to do. Yeah. Bob, is it possible to find Lake Tang snail shells for shell dwellers, or is that illegal to import? It is possible. And I used to know someone that actually sold shells from Lake Tanganyika. Let me check real quick. I actually used to have some because I bought some. Let's see. One second here. Frog shell, that's new. I've never seen a frog shell before. Here's where I would check. There you go. I would check there. You know, after the stream. Don't leave the stream. You know, I'm just kidding. Where are you doing live learning videos? What do you mean? I mean, this is the only live stream I do is here on YouTube. Every Monday, and then sometimes sporadically throughout the week. Maybe once every couple months I'll do one. Chris Swanson says, has anyone had success getting rid of BBA with Excel? Chris, that is an excellent question, because I feel like I am the only one that has not been able to get rid of BBA with Excel. I hear it all over the place. Dosing Excel to get rid of BBA. And maybe it's just because I've never been patient enough. Excel is very watered down, so it might take a while. I've never had luck with it, but there's plenty of people that said they do. For me, it's just quicker to use hydrogen peroxide. It takes like 2 days, right? You spot dose it. The next day it'll turn like purple, and then the next day it's dead and gone. Excel, I don't know. Like I said, maybe I just didn't give it enough time. Davo says, got my Amazonas just the other day. Yes, mine came today. Super excited. That'll be tonight's reading while I'm going to bed. Which is this magazine right behind me right here. Lots of cool fish in there. The Vulcan Quarry is in there. The CW111. There's an article on that. And then an article on some rainbows. And as you can see, obviously, some West African cichlids. Only 32 minutes late. Better late than never. Bob, do you recommend any American native mini fish that won't break any laws? I would look up the least killifish. This is my favorite killifish. This is, I believe, the world's smallest live bear. Comes from Florida. I've kept it a few times. They're a live bear, which makes it nice, right? A little easier to breed. And they're just a really cool small fish. And they're always, I've never had a problem selling them. Stupid band. But yeah, they're always in demand, so a really good one to breed. Brian says, how are your Paleotis doing? They're my favorite quarry. Actually, I don't have any Paleotis yet. Honestly, they will probably be one of the last ones I get, just because they're so available. I can get a Paleotis at any time. Caitlin says, just know that you can overdose with hydrogen peroxide. Yes, I should clarify. Don't just get a bottle of hydrogen peroxide, and it's the 3%, right? So don't just get a bottle and dump it in your tank. That's going to be very bad. Even though it oxidizes almost instantly, it can still have some pretty... I mean, that's how it kills the BBA when it oxidizes. It can be pretty detrimental to your fish. So this is why I said spot treat it, right? You get a little pipette, fill it up, and you just poke it around in the BBA. Now, if you've waited so long that your entire tank is covered in BBA, hydrogen peroxide is not going to be the way to go. The best thing you can do at that point is just go to the $1 per gallon sale and buy a new aquarium. Oh, man. What's the real scientific name for the black Corydora since they aren't Venezuelan? Schultzi. And they used to be called Aenis as well back in the day. I went over this last week. The whole breakdown on the black Corydoras, but they are Schultzi. And there's a non-black version of the Schultzi as well. Like John on KD Tropicals teaches on his videos, do you? I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. There are teachable moments in probably all of them. There are dedicated videos like how to do this, how to do that. There's like day in the life videos like, hey, I'm just hanging out in my fish room today. There's suggestion videos like, you know, if you're looking for a new Corydoras, you know, I've got like a video of 5 Corydoras. You just have to look. It's all there. I will say John is definitely more of a most of his videos are going to be like how to teach videos is what you're calling them. I just kind of film my journey and try to have fun along the way. Emma says, if mine breed again, I could send you some Paleotis. I would definitely rather have, captive bred versus buying from a wholesaler. Bob, I'm so in love with the smudge spot Corys I got yesterday. That would be Corydoras similis, if you're unaware. And yeah, those are on my list. For instance, as far as videos like this week's, I have a video coming out, I think on Monday or Thursday, about what is it? I haven't picked a title yet, which is why I don't have a release date yet. I still got to do a title and thumbnail. But it's gonna be like 5 uncommon Corydoras that are not very expensive, right? So like we all know of like albinos and sterbies and paleotis and pandas and julii. There's still a whole nother world of Corydoras out there that are still like in that $10 range. And that's what that video's on. Is it a teaching video? No, but it's an idea. It'll give you some ideas for, if you're looking for something outside of like the Petco PetSmart Corydora, I guess. And not saying there's anything wrong with it. I mean, obviously, I love albinos, julii. I mean, I love them all. So it's just a video to give you more options, essentially. I think the Punctatus Cory are so underrated. They are the pocket version of Robustus. Yeah, I got myself a school of Punctatus. And, I mean, honestly, I don't know. Like, I'm not even a fan of albino fish. You all know that. But I still couldn't say anything negative about an albino Cory. Like, there's just... all Corys are underrated, in my opinion. Oh, you guys are talking about dogs? I do love dogs. Leslie Perry says, Steenfott Aquatics, I've been seeing BBA in a lot of tanks lately. That looks really cool. Is there a downside of having it? Yes. I mean, if you like the way it looks in your tank. So, yeah, there's definitely a point when you're going to get so much of it that it starts clogging your filters. No matter how much maintenance you do. I mean, unless you're like cleaning your filter intake like every single day, cleaning your sponge filters like every single day, eventually it gets out of hand. I've tried to do it multiple times. I have done like a BBA carpet before, and then it was cool, but it was only cool for about 3 months, and then everything just turned into a mess. Like eventually it'll just turn into a mess. I've tried doing a wall like on the back of aquarium of BBA, and again that I was successful, but it was only cool for like, again, 2 to 3 months, and then it was just it just got out of hand. It gets out of control. Now as soon as I see BBA, I'm like, get out of here. I don't want it. Because it's such a mess. Like, so even when you treat it with Excel or hydrogen peroxide, it doesn't matter. Like, it's such a mess to clean up too. So when it dies off, it just doesn't disappear, right? Your filter sucks it up, and it just clogs filters so easily. Can cories poison other fish? Technically, the answer would be yes. Are there any actual examples of it happening in the aquarium hobby? I've never seen it. I've never seen it happen. Teresa with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you for the questions. Like, I mean, it's nice. The more questions, the better. It really makes the streams flow, and it's just a lot more fun, whether I know the answer or not. Does the list include Bilineatus cories? Matt, I guess you're just going to have to watch and find out. But no. No. Emma says, I love the Corridor's Melani. I just wrote a blog post on the Melani. I love them too. I ordered a bunch, didn't survive shipping, so I'm going to try to find somewhere else to get them from next time. Zen Ginger says, okay, Bob, after talking to you about the pseudos, I'm thinking like 15 Luminatus or Gertrude, like 25 neon tetras, and a herd of blue neons. Either dreams or diamonds. I would go blue dreams. Is that too much? I mean, it sounds like a lot. You're putting all that in a 40 breeder, right? Remind me? Yeah, 40 gallon. This sounds like a lot. Have you bred Corridoras Nackii? No. That's a really rare one. At least, I don't know where you are, Frank, but where I'm at, those are extremely rare. And I haven't found a source for those yet. Have you ever seen the tail spot Corridoras Hestatus? Yep. Janice, I actually have videos. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I think I could be wrong, so let me look first. Oh, why did it just do that? Okay. It's not good. Hold on. I just want to verify. I think I know which video it is, but I just want to look real quick. Oh, nope. Of course, those are Habrosis. Okay, I don't remember what video they're in. Somewhere on my channel, there are a couple videos of Hestatus. They're really hard to come by these days, but yes. They're one of the, as I call, pygmy corridors. And they're not pygmaeus, but they are another one like the Habrosis, the pygmy, one of the smaller ones. Jeff says, I have a ton of Julii Cory cats. They have been breeding like mice. And I honestly think that's going to be one of my bigger problems. Is the reason like albinos and peppered and Juliis, the reason like these are the most common, like you see them everywhere, is because they breed like 300. They'll drop like 300 eggs in a couple days, no problem. So I might have an issue. Luckily, I do have a wholesaler near me. That if this becomes a problem, I could just be like, hey, I got like 500 Corridoras. I'll sell them to you for $1 each or something crazy. I don't know. Fish Tank Barn, Mike, thank you so much, buddy. Has gifted 5 Steenfott Aquatics memberships. Thank you so much. Chris, Night Owl, Lady, RJ, and Rob. Don't forget, that's 7 new members. T-Shot also resubscribed, I saw, so thank you. Don't forget, every Monday, 3:30 p.m. at PST is the members-only stream. What state am I in? I'm in Washington. Washington, as Oregonians say it. Washington. I'm in Washington. Can I put the iron and easy green from the co-op on the same day? Yeah, absolutely. You could also do all 3. So there's the iron, the carbon, and easy green. Yep. I usually do it after, right? So I do it the day after my water changes, but there's nothing wrong with doing it at the same time. Like, you just find what works for you. I just do it the day after. I have no reason why. I do it the day after. Well, obviously, I mean, it doesn't make much sense to like dose on a Saturday and then do a water change on Sunday. So I definitely don't do it. So I do it, usually right after a water change. Are corridors egg scatters? Do they not eat their own fry? So some species will and will not eat their fry. No, not fry, but the eggs. They're not egg scatterers per se. So the female, lays them, carries them under her pectoral fin, The male fertilizes, and then they stick them on the glass. Usually, they'll just stick them on some flat surface, and normally it's the glass. What's your favorite Corydoras that you have or have owned? My favorite Corydora is probably always going to be the stir-by. Just a regular old stir-by. I love the orange yellow fins, the polka dot, and just the fact that they're so hardy and that they can go in like any water parameter. I mean, they're one of the few Corydoras that can actually go up into the 80s. Most Corydoras like cooler water, if you didn't know that. A lot of these Corydoras are collected in water down to like 50 degrees. So you'd be surprised how cold a lot of these species can go. But stir-by is one of the few that can go above 80. So really good with, your discus tanks, things like that. Would you say the Australian rainbowfish gets bigger than... Oh, yeah. Way bigger than goiter. Way bigger. I mean, I've had like huge... I'm talking like 6-inch Australian rainbowfish. Rob says, thanks for the membership. Yeah, thanks, Mike. Super awesome. Hey, Bob, any advice for future breeding of orange Venezuelans? Lady, not yet, but soon. When mine breed, I'll have all kinds of advice. Until then, it would just be the standard advice for breeding Corydoras, right? Colder water changes, lots and lots of protein. When you think you've fed them enough, feed them some more. And... yeah, do a cold water change. If they're still not spawning, time your colder water change with like a storm. If you know you have like a storm coming in, because that can help too. Prime is good for water conditioner. Is there something to use from the co-op? They have the Fritz variant. Well, I actually believe they have Prime, but they also have the Fritz water conditioner, I believe. And I talked to Corey like a year ago. I'm like, why don't you have your own water conditioner yet? And I don't know. I don't have an answer. I would love for the co-op to have their own water conditioner because it's basically all the same ingredient, and you can buy this stuff by like the 100-pound bags for like $1. It's so cheap. I forget what the actual chemical name is. Hopefully someone in chat knows, but it's so cheap to buy it in bulk. Legion Aquatics says, Bob, how did you and Corey meet? You want to know the origin story? Are you asking the origin? Like how it all began? Through fish. Through fish is the easy answer. Longer story. I was sitting at work in my cubicle, hating my life, as most people who sit in a cubicle do. On the clock, working, but still looking at fish online. Because, as you know, anyone who works in a cubicle, you really only do like 15 hours of work in a week, right? Let's be honest. So, I'm just goofing around on the internet, looking at Craigslist, trying to find some used aquariums, and I see a post from an aquarium store. And I'm like, what is this? And it was a post from Aquarium Co-op advertising their store. Way back in the day, when Aquarium Co-op was just this itty little bitty store. They used to post on Craigslist, or Corey would post on Craigslist every couple days, say, come check us out. And so I Googled them, and I was like, oh, this is like 10 minutes away from my work. So I got my keys, because you work in a cubicle, nobody notices when you're gone. Drove to the co-op, and back then, Corey was there every single day, open to close. And it was I just kept going, and he just kept being there, and just struck up a conversation, and then he told me about his, website, which is Washington Fish Box. It's a local website, and started talking on there, and and just slowly over time, it just kind of snowballed, and then I don't know. That's just how it happened. That's interesting. Look at this. Celebrate the first super chat from Alex Gonzalez. That's awesome. Alex, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I feel like you've super chatted me before, but maybe not. Thoughts on Corydoras breeding in a mini pond tub? So I plan on doing this over the summer, and 2 summers ago, maybe 3, Danny and I did this with one of her tubs outside with Paleotis. Paleotis is a really good Corydoras to keep outside because they can go a lot colder than most. So you get like a longer window of them being outside. you're not going to get the best yields. So maybe if they lay 200 eggs, by the time it's all said and done, you might get like a dozen fry grow up. But yeah, it can absolutely be done. Again, if you're looking for high numbers of fry, not going to be the best setup though. And, I mean, unless you're actually out there like picking eggs every day. When I'm tubbing, it's basically like a set it and forget it. It's outside. They're getting bugs. They're getting rain. You know, you throw some plants in there. It looks cool. So yeah, for me, tubs are kind of set it and forget it. But if you were actually out there every day, you know, like, you know, pulling eggs and things like that, then yeah, you're going to get a really good yield. What's your thought on keeping cories on sand versus gravel? 100% sand. Yeah, that's my thought. It's my understanding as long as it's smooth, you're all good. Yes. However, if you were to take, say you have two 40-gallon tanks, gravel on this one, even the round like pea gravel, sand in this one, and just observe them for a week. It probably won't even take a week, right? Just watch them side by side. You'll notice the ones in the sand are doing phenomenally better than the ones in the gravel. And it's hard to quantify that. But I don't even know how I can put it to words, but if you see it, you'll get it. Plus, when they're in sand, they leave like trails in the sand. It's really cool. It's like graboids, you know? For anyone who's seen Tremors. They love sifting through sand. That's what they do. It's just really hard to explain. I used to be one of those guys. If you go back like, you know, a couple years, heck, even like a year and a half ago on my channel, I'd be like, oh yeah, they're fine on gravel. No biggie. Now I'm just like 100% sand all the time, always. It's such a huge difference in their behavior. Would you think cories, a bristlenose pleco, and an angelfish would be okay in the same tank together? Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely. Cories and bristlenose. I mean, I've done it 1,000. Half my tanks have bristlenose plecos in them, just for algae control. So yeah, no problemo there. I have an angelfish in a bristlenose tank, and wondered a couple times about putting cories in there also. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Your sweater makes me think of my trapper keeper when I was younger. I did actually look for trapper keepers the other day. I was like, you know what? I do need a way to like document some stuff in my fish room. Normally I just get like the cheap old, you know, pad of paper or whatever, but I like, man, how cool would a trapper keeper be? So I was looking. Can fancy goldfish be kept on sand substrate? Regina, if it were me and I had to choose between gravel or sand, I would always choose sand, because I can't tell you how many horror stories I've heard of goldfish being impacted from swallowing a piece of a rock. So yeah, I would do sand. Sure, they might get a mouthful of sand, but it's much easier for them to spit it out. It's much easier for little sand particles to pass through their system. If they accidentally swallow a rock, I mean, it could be game over. What happened to the Wanamensis fry in the tub last summer? If you're asking me, you're asking the wrong person. I did not have Wanamensis. I haven't kept Wanamensis in a very long time. Are the female bristlenose plecos smaller than the males? Yes, but is it a significant difference? No. I've got some monster females. Granted, I've never had a female bigger than like my monster males, but it's still, they're still big, and it's not a big difference. Leo says, order the worms besides the tote. Going to put them. What else do I need? I just do dirt. I throw in some dirt, maybe a little bit of peat moss. Well, actually, I think the last time I did like 75% dirt, 25% peat moss. A lot of people will use like newspaper. I use cardboard. They love hanging out under the cardboard. And then you just need food. It's really that simple. You mist it maybe once a day. You're going to find there's going to be a sweet spot where you don't want to soak them, but you also don't want them to dry out. So this is what you want, like the deeper the substrate, the better, because then they could just self-regulate themselves from going up and down, right? But it's very simple. I mean, that's it. Very simple. What's the biggest fish you would put in a 10-gallon? My mom only has room for a 10-gallon, but she gets bored with small fish because she can't see them well. I mean, if it's me, honestly, I'm not putting anything bigger than an inch. There are some fish like a drapefin barb is tall, at least. Like, it's only about an inch, but at least it gets really tall. It has a really large, it's a drapefin. It's got a really big drape for a fin. And they're really cool looking, and a fairly active fish, and they're peaceful, especially for a barb. And, you know, maybe something like that, just because it's at least bigger bodied. But me, I wouldn't do anything bigger than an inch in a 10-gallon myself. I don't even like keeping bettas in 10 gallons, even though it's perfectly fine. eBay has some sweet trapper keepers for like $20. I feel like I need like a Transformers or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or I don't know. I'll have to look. Teresa says, can I mix gravel and sand, or do I need a divider? No, you can absolutely mix it. Like, yeah, absolutely you can mix them. It's just, one, what kind of fish do you have in the tank? That should be kind of a deciding factor. And then the rest is just personal preference. Like, what do you like better? Do you like all gravel? Do you like all sand? Do you like 50-50? Do you like 75-20? I mean, I don't know. I've been in lots of lakes and rivers that have sand and gravel, so it's not a big deal at all. What were the rainbow fry outside? I really... Oh... that was a 300-gallon tub that had like 12 different species of rainbows in it. And I did not pull any of the fry, simply because they could be hybrid. So I pulled out all the adults when it came time, and left the fry. I sent you a link on Messenger. A link? Like Link from Zelda? What are we talking about here? One sec, let me check. Oh, that's a pretty cool one. Oh, you sent me Trapper Keepers. Look at that. Looking at this Trapper Keeper here real quick. I have gravel. Is it too late to put sand? Will it mix when I do a water change? I mean, it's just going to mix over time. Like, even if you put all sand in one corner. If you want to keep it separated, then yes, you would need some type of divider, whether it's rocks or a piece of wood. But otherwise, over time, it's going to naturally mix. And you can always add whatever you want at any time. You know, it doesn't really matter. What time of day do corridors lay eggs in a community tank? Would eggs get eaten immediately? I've watched my tank all night and day. So if corridors are actually spawning, which there is a difference, right? Like, I've got corridors doing some spawning behavior over here right now where they're going up and down the glass, but they're not actually spawning. So it could just be possible that they're doing the behavior, but they're not actually spawning. Because when they're spawning, they'll spawn basically all day long for like 3 days straight. At night, the females they'll kind of hide. So if you are, it's a good idea to have some place for corridors to hide. A lot of them do like to hide. So at night, like, the females will try to hide and get some rest. Not all species. So it's a good idea to, make sure you got some hides for them. But otherwise, if they're actually truly spawning, it's like a multi-day event. Some of them you can even get to spawn for like a week straight. Bob, how do I cure hole in the head disease? So I've only had to deal with this once, knock on wood. But honestly, I don't treat it with anything. I just super clean water. First of all, I separate it, get it its own aquarium, super clean water, super clean food, high-end food, like really good quality food, and that's it. Most of the time, hole in the head is caused by poor water conditions and junk food. So you fix that, most of the time it'll do. Now, if you're at the point where it's got like infections, then you got to start treating it. But then it's like, what kind of infection? Does it have white fungus? Does it look like it's melting? So that's usually like a secondary. That's not actually hole in the head. That's a secondary infection that has to be treated separately, depending on what you feel is wrong with it. Factoid, don't remember his name, but the inventor of the Trapper Keeper passed away last year. Knock on wood and no dog. Yep, because they're not here. Dogs are at home. What do frogs like, sand or gravel? I don't know that they would have a preference. I've seen them on both. I really don't. For the frogs, I don't think it matters. Are frogs like loaches there, but never seen? I mean, there could be something like, normally frogs are just out and about chilling. If there's something, if they're stressed for some reason, that might be why they're hiding, whether it's a fish stressing them out, like constantly just bugging it. You might have something like that going on. I've heard under gravel filters are great biofilters, rivaling canisters when used correctly, not cleaned often. I don't think it matters, right? It's all personal preference. They all work. Under gravel, sponge, hang on back, sumps, canisters, they all work. That's why they're all still here. The pups are destroying his bed. It's probably true. I did check the old camera between streams, and they're just snoozing, but who knows? A lot of things can change in 2 hours. But honestly, just find, when it comes to filters, just find whatever works for you. People can waste so much time arguing back and forth on what is better, when the reality is they all work. Find out what works best for you, what works best for your maintenance schedule. Obviously, cleaning under an under gravel filter is not very right? If you're limited by time, you probably shouldn't do an under gravel filter, but it's just whatever works for you. It all works. That's why it's all there. If it didn't work, it wouldn't be sold. Funny, as kids, we needed Trapper Keepers. Now we use Post-it notes. I've tried Post-it notes, but it's never worked out for me. I don't know. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to get some Post-it notes. And I used to do it on the stream, right? When someone would say something, I would write it down on a Post-it note, and I would stick it on the monitor. And then there, it would just live there. Like, pretty soon there's like Post-it notes everywhere. I'm like, get them away. I don't like it. They're everywhere. Rest in peace to him. Oh, no, what happened? Night Owl Aquatics says, try a spawning mop. I have my longfin panacories and Similis cories laying in mops. Yes. If you're actually trying to spawn cories, I would highly recommend a spawning mop. And there's actually, I don't know what this is. I'm going to do a quick timeout here because I want to go grab this stuff. Let's do a quick be right back, maybe? Yeah.
And now, on with the show.
All right, so we got sound here. I guess I'll look here. I forgot when I changed to that screen, it mutes it. But here you go, eyelash yarn. So I was turned on to this by Mitchell Broom, who, if you don't know him, he's bred ungodly numbers of Corridoras, and this is what he recommends: this type of yarn, not like the thicker acrylic yarn that you see, but this eyelash yarn. Well, I grabbed it off my shelf and the whole thing came undone, so that's why it's all in a bird's nest right now. But yeah, apparently they just love the smaller yarn. So there you go. I love the texture, and this is so fluffy. I've got to turn that off. This is, you know, the people that have closed captioning turned on know what I was saying. I read her my first. Wait, what? I read her my first stream? What's the best food for loaches? Should I cook cucumbers? Loaches are carnivores. So would they eat cucumbers? I mean, they probably munch on it, but who really loves vegetables? Let's be honest. No meat eater loves eating a vegetable, all right? Did you know the word gullible is not in the dictionary? No. Let me get my dictionary. I gotta look. Bob's gonna have a scarf crocheted. I mean, if I knew how to crochet, sure. If anyone wants to crochet me an eyelash yarn scarf, I'd be all for it. All right, let's all talk about me muting the microphone for the next 15 minutes. What is what was I gonna say? I don't know. I was gonna take a shot at Katie Tropicals, but now I don't remember. It was there and then it was gone. Can I bring back the Back to the Future intro? Yeah, but nowadays I'd get copyright struck. That's why I don't. Well, plus I don't like intros, but it used to be back before all these ridiculous copy strike laws or copyright laws. You could play 15 seconds, technically up to 30 seconds, but that was kind of wishy-washy. But 15 seconds was like, you're okay. Not anymore. Now, like 2 seconds of something will get you a copyright. Not that I even care that much anymore, but for live streams, for videos though, I can't have my videos copyrighted. Hey Bob, how is that beef jerky? I've not tried that brand. It was actually pretty dang good. I would put it in like top 85% of the beef jerky I've ever had. The impressive thing was how much they fit in the bag. Like normally, you know, you buy a bag of something and it's like 20% full. This thing was like ready to explode. It was crazy. Fathead minnows are underrated. I totally agree. I think all minnows are underrated. Corey wouldn't forget that if he was muted. I mean, he would probably never be muted in the first place. So, or have a cut screen, I guess. I don't know. Mostly I mute it. I set it up to auto mute like that because normally when I get up, my dogs go crazy. They start barking and, you know, I start like knocking stuff over because they're all jumping on me and excited. So yeah. What's the plant Corey had in his ponds that was half immersed and floating? I have no idea. Cucumber is a good roughage. All vegetables are worthless. Worthless. Would fish eat chicken? Absolutely. Any carnivore would eat chicken. Dedication. I mean, I did lose like 10 viewers, so, you know. Don't blame the dog. I mean, it's totally the dogs. Like, let's be fair. I would probably start saying things that are not like family friendly when I'm getting tackled by 3 dogs trying to grab something. Yeah, I don't remember having. Are you talking about his indoor ponds or his pond? Either way, I don't know the answer. I don't remember. The ones. Well, he had water sprite in his indoor ponds. Maybe that's it. Chickens eat chicken. That's true. What's my favorite tank right now? My 40-gallon breeder that's over here. This was in my last video that I did on the light. So if you're curious what tank I'm talking about, just watch the light video, and it's the tank in that one that I used for the comparisons. It's basically like it's the only tank I have in here, and it's for all my extra stuff. So I've got 5 species of extra cories in there, but I'm just kidding. It's all my extra plants are in there. So if you watch the video, you'll see there's like maybe 50 plants in there still in pots. That's where they all go. Last week I was bullied into buying a Crypt Tropica. So when I was at the Aquarium Co-op store a couple days ago, I bought a Crypt Tropica, and now it's in there. You bullies, you big bullies, you bullied me. Leslie says, can I just cut up frozen shrimp and feed it to my fish? Yes, we had shrimp for supper Tuesday, and my husband asked if they'd eat it. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a very good treat for them, too. Like, I don't think a single fish would not eat frozen shrimp. And it's always in my arsenal. I've got cooked frozen shrimp in my freezer right now. And maybe once a week, I'll sit in the middle of my fish room, and I'll be like, boop, 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 boop. Just throw them in all the tanks. Should I cook meat and blend it to give it to my loaches? I mean, that'd be pretty dedicated. Or you could just buy frozen fish food, like bloodworms. Hey, Bob, if you had a full animal room with plant wall, water feature, fish, reptiles, and amphibians, what mammal would you add? Random question, I know. What? Oh, man, that one would take some thought. Who's bullying Bob? I'm kidding. No one's bullying me. Good luck. Good luck if you think you could bully me. Probably a dog. I mean, I don't know. Emma says, people comparing Bob to Corey be comparing apples to oranges. They're both fruit, but different. You can love them both for what they are. Yeah, the thing that, it doesn't really bother me at all. The thing that bothers me is like, it doesn't even bother me, but people are like, you sound exactly like Corey. I'm like, my voice sounds nothing like Corey's voice. Like, I get this comment probably like 2-3 times a year is all. And I'm like, what is wrong with your ears that you think I sound like Corey? Like, I don't get it. I'll bully the bullies for you, Bob. Yeah, that's usually my job. I doubt Bob can be bullied. Yeah. I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised. Oh man. What would I put in an animal room? I mean, the size of the room would matter. 'Cause if I'm like in a giant warehouse, I'm getting a serval. Like I'm gonna finally get my serval. I'm sure it was Danny. No. More nuts than fruit. That's funny. I like that. That's funny. Chinchilla. Anytime I hear the word or see the word chinchilla, I just think Super Troopers. Sugar gliders would be really cool. And I'm really surprised they're not illegal here, because everything is illegal here. But they're not. It's legal down here. I feel like if I ever got to like 1,000,000 subscribers, then maybe I might have some sugar gliders like flying around the room. I miss them. I had sugar gliders back in the 90s, and they were great. Some of the best pets I've ever owned. Has anyone ever come up to you and asked if you're Corey's friend and not know who you were? Yes. The worst person you could possibly think of has done that to me. And I've told this story, so some of you know. The absolute worst person at the worst time. It was the coroner hauling out my best friend's dead body. I was wearing an Aquarium Co-op hat, and he's like, I love Aquarium Co-op. I love Corey. I've seen all of his videos, while he is holding my dead best friend of over 20 years. Like, literally stopped. It was the most unbelievable thing I have ever gone through or witnessed in my life. It was, and the whole time I'm like raging at this guy in my head. And I said, that's not true. If you've seen all of his videos, you would know who I am. And I just turned around. I was like, you're really, like, you thought this was the time? It really, even to this day, just blows my mind. I'll never get over it, ever. I've got a sugar glider at my house. He's living in the birdhouse in my yard. Wow. All right. Everything is illegal here in California. Everything causes cancer in California. Oh, come on. That's just what? Like, every time I buy something, it's like, this causes cancer in California. It's kind of funny. That's so hardcore. But it's unbelievable to me that someone could have... I don't even know, to be that just unaware. It's blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. But I realize these are also people, like, to have that job. It, you know, someone who has that job probably has zero social skills, right? Probably people that hang out by themselves in basements. I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine someone going into that profession having like really high social skills. So I try not to get too mad, but it was something else, man. It was just something else. Veranda Guy says, I joined at a dark moment. You should have been here last stream, Veranda Guy. We were talking about your monitors. Someone asked, hey Bob, do you know about Ackie monitors? And I was like, actually, one of your fellow members breeds Ackie monitors. It was just another day at work for him. They don't have people skills. Yeah, and I mean, that's what I try to tell myself, but still. Do fish food need to be in a refrigerator, or can you just leave it on the shelf? So this is actually a very, very good question, Teresa. And I think it's something that a lot of people don't think about. Especially if you're buying like large containers. Like if you get one of these huge containers of fish food and you only have like a 10-gallon tank, that food is going to get so stale before you finish it. You should absolutely be storing it in the fridge. Now, it's not going to make it last forever, but it will make it last a lot longer. Especially if you get one of those little things that like suck out the air, whatever they're called. Yeah. I think a lot of our diseases, like hole in the head, come from feeding stale food. And you know when you open up fish food, like the krill flakes, and you just have, you can smell it, right? As soon as like you can't smell it anymore, I throw it away. I won't use it anymore. Or, you know, you first get your flake food and it's really crunchy, and then maybe in like a month and a half, it's just like really soft and there's no crunch to it. I throw it away. It's gone. Oh yeah, MedCal, they're totally desensitized, but still, you think you'd have some kind of self-awareness, or I don't know. It was crazy. And then I don't know if maybe you've gone through this before, but this is the first time that I've gone through, like I was with my grandpa when he passed away, but it was in the hospital, right? Totally, everyone's totally appropriate there. This is the first time I've ever been out in the wild. Like I came home and found him dead. And so what they do is, you know, you go through the whole spiel. The cops come, the aides come, the coroner comes, and then the what's the pastor, priest, whatever, I don't know what they're called. There's a name for them. You know, the dudes that talk to the dudes before they kill them in jail. Whatever that word. I can't think of it right now. I'm like, these are some really good memories I'm bringing up. But he called on the phone, right? You know, he just wants to make sure you're okay. And he's like, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, this is what I do. He's like, oh, I've always wanted a pond. Can you put a pond in my yard? I'm like, dude, what is going on with these? Yeah, a constable. Is that it? Constable? I don't know. But he was like, I was like, you know, 'cause I told him I got fish tanks, I've got ponds. And he's like, oh, I've always wanted a pond. Can you come put a pond in my yard? And I'm just like, dude, chaplain. That's it, a chaplain. And I'm just thinking, like, really? Like, what is going on here? Like, I don't know. Like I said, it's the first time, hopefully the last time I ever go through something like that. But man, it was wild. It was a real wild experience. I don't even know. Anyways, her 209 says, can you blend it up and put it into a batch of Repashy? If you're talking about food, yeah, absolutely. I've actually made a video. I haven't released it because it's not that good, and maybe I'll release it. I don't know. But I kind of filmed making Repashy and supercharging it with other ingredients. You can absolutely put anything you want in Repashy. But I kind of have this like secret formula that I really like, and I made a video of it. But again, it's not very good, so I don't know. I don't know. I thought that too, but in reality, you just buy small jars of food. Yeah, it's always going to be better to buy smaller more often than larger less often when it comes to fish food. I hate when I do that. Ugh, it's the worst. I hate listening to videos where people do that, and then I just did it. Teresa says, you're awesome. Thank you for answering my questions. Like I said, love the questions. Keep them coming. Can you help me out? What are the best tank mates for angelfish? So this is a loaded question. We need to know, like, basically what we need to know is tank size, right? Because if you have angels in a 40 breeder, that's a lot different than angels in a 75 or a 125. So what you put with your angelfish is going to matter depending on the size of your tank. I come back to secret formula, but nah, come on, give. You got to wait for the video, all right? You got to wait for the video. I'm sure I'll release it. If I don't release it, Amissa, I will tell you. I will find you somewhere in the online realm and tell you if I don't release a video. Okay. I'll tell you. It's freeze-dried foods and black soldier fly larvae in my Repashy. That's the secret. There it is. Worst sound ever. Don't ever do that in my ear again. Now my mouth is dry from doing it. When I first started making videos, I did that all the time. As soon as I started editing, I was like, stop. Don't ever make that noise again. I haven't had amazing success with Repashy. Fish are okay, but not bonkers over it. All right, well, I butchered that sentence. I apologize. I mean, you definitely have to know your fish, right? You don't want to be giving like bottom scratcher to herbivores, right? And you know, it could just be maybe just the wrong flavor for the fish. You know, I do love Repashy foods, but it doesn't work for every fish. Most fish, sure. Also, like, what's your ratio, right? So I think on the bottle, it's like 1 cup of Repashy to 3 cups of water. Maybe it's 2 cups. I'm not sure. But if you go like 1 cup of Repashy to 1 cup of water, which is my favorite when it comes to plecos, then it's going to be really hard, and it's hard for the fish to pick at it. But it's great for plecos because they love rasping at things. And the less water you put in it, the longer it'll last before it breaks down in your aquarium. So, I mean, definitely follow directions, but once you get good at it, you can kind of start tweaking Repashy to what works best for your fish and your aquarium. So that's one of the things I love about Repashy is it's like I'm making my own food, but all the important stuff is already taken care of, right? And then I'm just like adding stuff. So, I mean, I love Repashy just for that. Barbara Jackson says, Bob, you have one of the best microphones in the fish fam. Some are really painful to listen to out there. So this is the same microphone as most like huge channels. So I've been wanting this microphone for a really, really, really long time. Mentality Films actually donated this microphone to me for Christmas. So super thankful. And I couldn't be more excited. I love it. Oh, excuse me. Please do not cut yourself short. You are very smart, and I bet a lot can learn from them. I mean, yeah, a lot. I don't want anyone to think I'm an expert, but I'm certainly not a novice. I mean, I can now say I've been keeping fish for decades, right? I can use the plural version. Whereas, you know, a couple years ago, I could only say, you know, a decade. But I've entered my second decade of keeping fish, so I have vast experience, right? But I don't ever want to be like an authority figure, like Bob said this, so this is the way it is. So that's why I always kind of am like, well, you know, I'm not an expert, but and maybe I shouldn't say that as much, but I don't ever want to see like a post on the internet where Steenfott Aquatics said this, so this is the way it is, because that stuff really bugs me. Because we're in a hobby where there's so many different ways to be successful in so many different things. Like the people that say this is the way, I would never listen to those people ever. I want angelfish for my 55-gallon. What's the best tank mates? So, honestly, any community fish that won't fit in its mouth. Angelfish will absolutely eat small fish. So, you also don't want fish that are fin nippers, right? Angelfish have these long, beautiful fins, and you don't want fin nippers. So, you want basically anything that you can find that's labeled as community. Anything that says like semi-aggressive or aggressive, you probably want to steer away from. So that leaves you like, I mean, there are 100 different species of tetras. Rainbowfish are really nice. Corydoras, apistogrammas, any smaller cichlid that stays at the bottom. Like, so most of your dwarf cichlids would be really well, or go really well with them. Obviously, any plecos. I mean, a pleco will never bother an angelfish unless you get one of these massive like common plecos, which I would not ever recommend getting a common pleco. But like your bristlenose pleco, your rubber lip, your clown pleco, all of these are great additions. But I would probably go with like a bigger bodied tetra, and I would do like a couple dozen, so you have like a nice school. Something like a candy cane tetra or a serpe tetra, a lemon tetra. There's so many of these like bigger bodied, I would say more robust tetras that would do really well with angelfish. Some mics out there emphasize S so much. This is a problem I've been dealing with because I have a chipped tooth, and so I really like it. I'm very hyper aware of my S's, and sometimes, like when I say sometimes, like I can hear it. I don't know if you guys can, but it really bothers me. I learned a lot from Bob in my early days. The old-fashioned fish room tour videos are my favorite, and we're going to get back to those. I mentioned this last stream, but I didn't really go over it. I did suffer kind of a setback. So I have like 100 2x4s left over from building my house. These are what I was going to use to build my racks. I have them all nicely stacked. They're outside, but I have got two tarps covering them. 2 weeks ago when I went, when I did my Thursday stream, I'm like, I'm going to get my racks done this weekend. I went to go get my 2x4s, took the tarps off, and they were all just wet and moldy. And I just stood there. I'm like, how did this happen? Like, they're under 2 tarps, like completely covered. There's not like it's only the top covered and the bottom's uncovered, like completely covered. So yeah, I've had to restack my 2x4s, waiting for them to dry out, which in 20-degree weather takes a very long time. I'm almost to the point where, like, screw it, I'm just gonna put them together all soggy and moldy, which would not be a good idea. But I just can't go and buy a bunch of 2x4s when I have 100 of them sitting there. It just does not make sense in my brain. So a slight little setback. But yeah, once the fish room's over, or at least once the racks are done, we'll have a lot more fish room. Like, I think this is going to be a really good year for my channel. I really do. Last year and the year before, you know, kind of going through some stuff, and it's kind of all over now, hopefully. And so I really do think this is going to be a good year for my channel. Going to be lots of videos, lots of growth, lots of new people, and I'm looking forward to this year a lot, actually. This is 2023, Year of the Bob. Telling you. Let's see. Bob, random question. Have you had interactions with Joey Mullen, DIY King? Thoughts on him? Don't have to answer if you don't want to. Obviously, yeah, I met Joey at one of the aquatic experiences. So the first one we went to, I saw him. We didn't really talk. And then the second one I went to, I don't think he was there. And then the third one is when I actually met him and talked to him for a little bit. And there was kind of some stuff going on there. And afterwards, we talked on Instagram back and forth for a little bit. And then I don't think I've talked to him since. So, yeah. Nothing, just not a lot to talk about that, I guess. Have you ever kept Celebes rainbows? Yes. Did you find they did better with salt, or were they fine without? So Celebes rainbows, in my experience, are one of the most, what's the opposite word of hardy? If you don't give them exactly what they want, they will not do well for you. So like if you miss a water change, they might all die off. Like, seriously, they are some of the most sensitive rainbows I've ever kept in my life. And I know a lot of people have really good luck with them. My tap water was not good for them, and they've just never done well for me. Like, super sensitive. A lot of people will say that about frickatas, like the friccata rainbow fish, another one that's like very sensitive. Celebes, in my experience, were even more sensitive than frickatas. Pony Girl says Celebes do better in hard water. Yeah, which I, at the time, had like the exact opposite. And even like with aragonite substrate, buffering the water, it's really hard to maintain constant water parameters when your tap water is extremely soft and the fish likes really hard water. Like, you could add, chemicals, aragonite, everything. It's never going to be like a good constant level, which is what they want. So they've never done well for me. And like I said, same story with frickatas. They have the most kissable faces. Who? What? Wait, did you get a puppy? What's going on? How did I miss this? I named her Daisy. Wait, what's going on here? Random guy. Did you get a puppy? Oh, here we are. Oh, yeah. What did I miss? I had to step away. Steenfott Aquatics can appreciate this. New puppy. Oh, yeah. I brought home a purebred American Bulldog. Nice. Dad is 110 pounds. Mom is 95. Pup is 16 weeks, 30 pounds. I love American Bulldogs. I got to be honest with you. Like Amissa, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here, and have a good night. I have been jonesing for a new dog, like so close that I really need you guys to talk me off this ledge, because I've already got 3 big dogs. But I don't know why. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about my husky, who passed away in 2020, and I've really been wanting another one. I mean, she was more Malamute than Husky, but I just say Husky. I'm really like every single day I'm like, I look in the mirror, I'm like, don't get another dog. Just don't do it. But man, I want one so bad. So bad. I need a support group. Like, oh man. What's the best type of structure for community tanks? What do you mean? Elaborate for me, if you would. Thank you. Teresa says, what kind of music do you play? Heavy metal, rock, jazz? I'm classically trained on piano. I will always love classical music on the piano. Will always be my favorite. For guitar, nothing beats a good riff. Like just rocking out a really good riff. So, really depends on what I'm playing. Do it now. Do it now. Not gonna happen. I want to. I'm luckily not volunteering at the shelter since I cracked my leg. But man, I hope whatever feeling this is goes away by the time I'm back volunteering at the shelter, because there's always Malamutes at the shelter, and I'm just, I'll be in trouble. I'll be in trouble. Like, my monthly food bill for my dogs is already astronomical. The last 2 weeks I've shelled out like $1,500 in vet bills. So like the last thing I need is another dog, especially a gigantic dog. But man, I'm really missing her. I don't know what it is. Maybe I've spent too much time alone out in the woods. I don't know. But Regina Flandy says 4 dogs. Yeah, but I'm sure your 4 dogs are the same size of one of my dogs. Probably even smaller. Random guy, what's going on? It says, here's $10 for keeping it at 3 dogs, although it may not help, but I'll send you photos on Instagram. She's all white and the cutest ever. Oh my God. It's basically Chance, right? From Homeward Bound. Ah, man. What's the best social group for angelfish? So angelfish, it's like you either have 1 or you have like at least 6, in my opinion. Would not have favorite classical music is amazing. Did I say Rift? I've been playing a game called Rift, so maybe I said Rift. I don't know. I say a lot of things. I can't keep track of it, of all of it. Oh, you have an 85-pound Dutchie too. All right. Rob says, I have a 4-year-old husky that is as mouthy as they get. Come get him. Like mouthy, like nipping everything, or mouthy like talks a lot? Because mine would sit there and like tell me a story for hours. It's great. Do it now. Get a husky. It's worth it to do. I know. I've had one. Right? She's right here. Right there. I don't know. Can you see that? Right there. There she is. Boy. Oh boy, I already got pictures from Veranda guy. I gotta look. Where am I going here? Here we go. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna share these pictures. Look at that little putum. Look at that guy. This is not helping. This is not helping my situation at all. If you're a gamer, I used to be a gamer. I'm not a gamer anymore. I probably play like 1 hour a week, if that, these days. Especially because there was a game that I played and then I got banned. So, yeah, I'm kind of over it, but sometimes I do just like to play when I need just to not think, right? It's a good escape. I'm definitely not a gamer though. No, Bob, your great mic is in front of Seraph. No, I feel like you can see it. There. There she is. And this right here, that's her urine. She's not in there. I would never keep her in a box inside. She has been she's outside where she needs to be, but that's the one they sent her home with, so I keep it forever. I'll agree. There is no such thing as too many dogs, but at a point it does get expensive. It does get expensive. Like I said, my food bill, I'm like right there at my budget for monthly food bill, so I can't do it as much as I want to do it. It would not be smart. Bob, you are great. I already got that one. When you do a video, can you play your guitar, please? So I've tested this, and I don't know how people with music channels do it. I don't know if you designate, because when you create your channel, you say what it is, right? Is it a music channel? Is it a science channel? Animal, whatever. And I don't know if it's different for music channels. But I've done this, and I get copyright strike for playing someone else's like a song. Like 5 years ago, I probably could have done it, but now the AI is so ridiculous. Like I can't. So if I did do it, it would be like a members video, because it doesn't matter if members videos have copyrighted content. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. So unless things change, I don't know. I couldn't do it in a video. What's the top 5 most beautiful fish? Well, that's pretty subjective. But I would say a Pseudomagil fricata is definitely in a top 5. There's probably some apistogrammas that are maybe in the top 5. I don't know. Pseudomagil fricata, I think, is one of the best looking fish in the hobby. Adobies are so awesome. Yeah, I think I don't know. There's so many cool dogs. Just cut your food bill in half. Bingo, problem solved. Because we're all eating half as much this month. Oh man. My neighbor has 7 huskies. They listen to no one. Mine was a part shepherd, part Malamute, part husky, and I forget what the other one was that was on the deal. But she was by far the smartest, best trained dog I've ever had. Like, ever. Dog was amazing. Granted, I got her, then I quit my job, and I was unemployed for like 2 years, so I really had like nothing to do but hang out and train my dog. Basically all I did. But amazing. It's so, I don't know if anyone's ever done like off-leash training. It's so nice to have a dog that's not on a leash. Oh, it's so nice. I have written 100 times in chat, and you read only smart. I've written 100 times in chat, but you read only smart but one. I wrote tonight. Smart but one. Kyle. Yeah, the chat's going fast tonight. I like it. Like, there used to be a time when I could just boom, 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 boom. But honestly, like, the chat hasn't moved this fast in a long time. So I guess my skills are not as good as they used to be. So yeah, I've definitely missed a lot of chats tonight. I apologize. I'm not used to it going this fast. Pony Girl says Asian rummy nose or Luminatus. I'm gonna pick Luminatus every time. I established planted 20-gallon hard water. Thanks. I would do Luminatus. I mean, obviously I'm a little biased to Rainbowfish, and Luminatus is one of my favorites. So if it's up to me, Luminatus. I feel like I've kept rummy nose, and they're cool, but after a while, it's just like, yeah, it's a cool looking fish, but whereas like a Luminatus, like, their behavior is so much better. They're so much more fun to watch. Cal says, I train my service dog. He can walk off leash. You are 20 Ricos behind. It's true. I'm not in top chat, though. I was for like 45 minutes, but I haven't been for a while. JT says, I have 2 Dalmatians, and I would love a third, but that would be chaos. My sister had a Dalmatian. Amazing dog. Love that dog. His name was Buddy. Yeah. I want Great Danes. That's what I want. I want, like, a purebred Great Danes. And so my plan has been, like, I have 3 dogs now. They're all roughly, based on size, breed, and age, going to, I hate talking about this, but, you know, if they live to be old age, they're all going to pass around the same time. And then my plan was I wanted to get 2 Great Danes. Now, I don't know if that plan is going to work out because I'm already jonesing for another dog, but I've always wanted Great Danes, so we'll see what happens. Or I might be old and decrepit and broken and be like, I can't have big dogs anymore. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe when I summit Rainier, I'll fall and break my legs and frostbitten, and I won't be able to walk anymore, and then I can't have big dogs anymore either. I don't know. You never know what's going to happen, but that's the plan. I can get free fish from my PetSmart. I mean, who doesn't love free fish? She was a hard dog. I lost mine on 1/27/17. I miss her every day. She was a purebred mutt. Purebred mutt? All right. She was perfect. Yeah, my Seraph was the first. Her name was Seraph. Was the first dog I've ever had. You know, I mean, growing up we had family dogs, but this was like my first dog, and just the whole story. Now you guys are gonna make me tear up if we stop. If I keep talking about her, so I'm gonna stop. I started off finding John and Lisa on YouTube, KG Tropicals, and I found a local fish store because of one of their videos, Twin Cities Guppies, and things just snowballed from there. Kang Lee and Twin Cities Guppies is absolutely amazing. So I wish I had a Twin Cities Guppies near me. Kang Lee, if you don't know, he owns that store, and he is just, him and his wife are like some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Super cool people. What type of fish inspires you to make YouTube videos? That's an interesting question. I would say what type of aquariums, because I started, it was, inspires is a weird question. What inspired me to make YouTube videos when I was starting out is basically like everyone else. I just wanted to document my fish tanks. I wanted to be, like I was breeding African cichlids in half my fish room. I didn't really have a fish room, but I had enough tanks to call it a fish room. And then I also had some planet tanks. And I was like, I'm going to make some videos. And instead of storing them on my computer that could break at any time, I'm going to upload them to YouTube. And then I can come back and be like, this is what my plants look like, you know, six months ago. This is what the fry, this is how big the fry were 3 months ago. And then people started watching them over time. And then, you know, I just kind of went from there. And then I got some help from Corey when I was like, hey, how can I make this YouTube channel like a real YouTube channel? And so, you know, that's kind of how we kind of bonded over YouTube more than we bonded over fish. As far as your earlier question, Jacob, as far as how we became friends. And yeah, and then, you know, here I am on a live stream with 200 people talking about fish. I don't know. So what inspires me? It's you all inspiring me. My fish and my tanks are not why I'm here every week doing a live stream. It's all you guys. And UPS Living the Dream says, hit the like button. Yeah, like I said, make friends with the like button. It likes you. Like it back. I wish you could put a picture up of the fish you speak of when you talk about fish. Like, I don't know what Illuminatus is. I can do that. It would get pretty crazy to do that on every fish, but I still happen to have a picture of it up. So this right here is Illuminatus. It's a scientific name, Pseudomygale luminatus. Common name, red neon blue eye rainbow. I just call it a red neon rainbow because all pseudomygales are blue eyes. So yeah, red neon rainbow. There you go. Lucky for you, I just happen to have this up. Still. All right. Hold on. $1 million question. What's your downfall of keeping aquariums? I would say I haven't met my downfall yet because I'm still keeping them. Like, to me, when you say downfall, that means like what caused you to get out of it? Like, what was the downfall? Why are you no longer in this hobby? What would that downfall be? I don't know at this point. I don't know that there's anything that would get me out. Like, even if my house burned down, like, I'd build a new one and I would get in an aquarium. I don't know. I don't know what would cause me to get out of this hobby. Like, I could see myself getting out of the hobby temporarily. Like, maybe I want to go travel to the Andes Mountains for 3 months. You know, I can't keep fish at that point. Permanently though, I don't think anything. Maybe disability if I got one. You're forgiven. Now, Mandy, sorry, I take it back. You ain't. Don't bully anyone. Order fish, not shrimp, from Flip Aquatics. Not me. I've gotten shrimp, but not fish. Can you put a picture of the fish? Oh yeah, I would love to. It's also a pseudomygil. So like this pseudomygil luminatus, this is the pseudomygil furcata. Hold it. Furcata. This would be nice. Like, maybe one day we'll get to a point where the AI can just blast up pictures of this fish. Granted, you know, I'm just picking the first couple photos that come up here in Google. Let's go back. Now, this is a fish that you'd really, in addition to looking at it, you'd also want to see it swim. They have these little flappers, if you see right behind his gills, and they just flap. I don't. Take this fish, pseudomygil furcatas, if you can see there, throw that into YouTube and just watch them. It's a combination of looks and their behavior that, in my opinion, makes this one of the most beautiful fish in the hobby. Like, they're just amazing fish. Unfortunately, like I said earlier, they're also one of the most sensitive fish. So I would not recommend this fish to beginners, unfortunately. What's your most expensive fish you have? That's a good question. I don't think I have any real expensive fish right now. Maybe I'm forgetting of one. The most I've spent on a group of fish was my zebra plecos years and years ago. The most I've spent on one fish was my Mabu puffer. But right now, probably the most expensive fish in my fish room right now are probably my L397s, maybe, and those are only like $80 now. So yeah, I've been really focused on getting Corridoras, and they're just not that expensive. So I don't think I just don't have anything that's like over the top expensive right now. That's totally not how I wrote that down. I'd be over here looking for, yeah. It'd probably help if I pronunciated better, but yeah. Kyle says furcatas are my favorite fish. You have to see them in real life. They are amazing. Yeah, the pictures don't do them justice. The videos help, but still, like, the first time you see that fish in person, it'll always be like a double what is that? Ooh, look at that. It'll catch your eye every single time. No matter, even if you're not into fish. Like, if someone was just, hey, I'm here to get some dog food, and then see a group of furcatas out of the corner of their eye, they'll always be like, what? Like, stupid, but you know. Did you breed your plecos? No, I got rid of them, I think, before. I had them for 2 years, which is right at the starting point of hitting sexual maturity, and then I got rid of them. Yeah, you know, things happened. I had to get rid of them. I had to sell them. I had to pay for stuff. So yeah, so Atkin, you bring a very good point. It says Corys get expensive when you start buying them in schools. Sure, but I think the answer was like most expensive fish, not group of fish. Like I spent a lot of money on Corridoras this year, so yeah. Mandy, are you a super mod here too? Yes, she is. That's fantastic, Regina. Production. Wait, what? What happened? I missed it. I don't know what you're talking about. I missed it. Oh well. Moving on. I have 8 Denison barbs in my quarantine tank, $20 each, but that's $160 most I've spent. Well, that is money well spent. What NFL team do I don't care anything about football, but I will tell you I did bet on the Eagles, so we'll see what happens. We will see. And like $10, like nothing major. But I found a guy who, this is going to sound crazy, but it's 100% true, has predicted every Super Bowl winner for the last 7 years, 7 years ago. So he posted in 2015, here are the next 10 teams to win the Super Bowl in order. And he's been right every single year. There's still 3 more years to go. But think how crazy that is. Like, that's insane. So he's got the script, right? He knows what's going on over there. And so I was like, in 2015, he said the Eagles were going to win the Super Bowl in 2023, and they're in the Super Bowl. So you know what? He's been right the last 6 years. I'll put $10 on him. What's the worst that could happen? My sexual maturity or the fish's? I don't think I've hit my sexual maturity. I'm still like 10 years old. Are you kidding me? Go over speed bumps. Whew. Man, not a good thing. Anyways, my favorite fish are blue gouramis because they're so beautiful and you can find them in the wild. I mean, technically, I feel like you can find all fish in the wild. I mean, that's where they all came from at the start. It's just money. If you run out, just print more. Huh. I mean, that's kind of the motto. Bob and the mods, whoever volunteered their time tonight to keep Bob's chat going. Oh, thanks to the Bob and the mods. Yeah. Mods are great. I got a good team of mods here. And so the advantage of doing this for so many years is that all of the spammers, the trolls, they've all been pretty much weeded out by this point, right? They're all banned, permabans. So we don't get a lot of that stuff around here, which is nice. You'll find on like a lot of newer channels, which is at no fault of the channels, right? Clearly not their fault if people are spamming and doing things they shouldn't be doing. That's one of the advantages of doing this so long is most of those people are already banned. Our pygmy cory is the smallest cory. I have a planted 29 and want to get the most of the smallest cory. That's a good question. I would guess yes, but I don't know. Like, technically, I don't know. I would guess yes, but I'm sure they're the smallest that are available in the hobby. And I will also say, having had a group of pygmy cories in a 29-gallon, very good. Very good choice. Get like 20, at least 20. It'll be a really good time, I promise. I'm a mediocre mod at best. Well, yeah, because I don't like, I'm not one of those people who are like, mods, can you link this? Mods, can you do that? No, you're just a mod because I got a random itch on my butt one day and made you a mod. That's all there is to it. No rhyme or reason. I mean, a lot of the mods are also my closer online friends. So, I mean, there's that. Have I ever kept a bluegill? No, I have one in my goldfish pond. Can't wait to see him when the weather warms up. I see a lot of bluegills because I'm in like the land of a billion lakes, but no. You want to know a stat I heard today, which is almost unbelievable. I don't know why I was looking at geography stuff, but I was. And I read that that's totally random. Alaska has 3.5 million lakes that are larger than 20 acres. 3.5 million. And this was in like the World Atlas, which I would assume is right. But 3.5 million lakes that are 20 acres or larger? That just seems insane to me. I mean, Alaska is huge, obviously, right? It's like 3.5 million acres, but I don't know. That's crazy. I don't know. Nisi, do you know how many? I don't even know how many acres are in Alaska, but obviously it's got to be more than that because that math doesn't add up. But well, I guess no, because not all of it's going to be land. So I guess it could be. I don't know. Nisi said facts. She's from Alaska. She would know. Crazy. Can I see a picture of a blue gourami? All right, we're gonna have to start charging for this. Like, blue gourami. Let's do it. Let's do it, eh? Yeah, let's do it. That's from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, in case you didn't know. Let's do it, huh? Terrible impersonation. Here we go. There is your powder blue gourami, your coral blue gourami, your cobalt blue gourami, whatever name you want to use. Don't take just any brown and sticky thing. Be selective. What? All right. Uh-oh. Zen Gender speaking. Fish pics on super chat request only. I mean, yeah, I'm literally Googling stuff for you at this point. Well, hey, that's all right. That's what I'm here for. And we're back. All right. There are a lot of lakes within a few miles of my house with tons of leeches. Well, that sounds fascinating. I have like 7 lakes within like 2-mile radius of me. It's pretty sweet. I bet the Chinese balloons saw those lakes. Yeah, it would know. Oh, man. Speaking of, when are you going to visit? I know. This is like, I'm like 7 years too late. 7 years in the making. I know. I gotta come down there. The problem is like, I can only leave my house at this point for a couple days, and I don't feel like you can do Alaska in a couple days. Leo says, Bob, if I order the magazine, would I get the one you got too recently? I honestly don't know. I don't know how they do it. I will say that they are very good at answering emails. So if you email them, like I emailed them and they responded to me like within a day. So, yeah, I would probably go to the Amazonas website, send them an email, and yeah, that's the best I could do. What? How can that even be? I know. I'm telling you, it's crazy. How do you know what sticks to take home from the aquariums? I would be very, very careful about taking, as a new person to the hobby. I mean, I don't know what your experience is. I would just not do it. I would get your sticks. I know they're stupid expensive at the fish store, but I would wait till you get a little bit more experience, because when you're adding stuff from outside into your tank, you want to be able to see changes that may or may not happen. And how do you know what you're looking for? Experience, right? Through experience, you're going to be like, that doesn't look right. That looks good. This is not normal. This is normal. I mean, like, obviously you don't want anything with sap in it. Like, so no sap. Just throwing that out there. But I just wouldn't recommend it. I guess I'm just assuming your skill. Like, I don't know what your skill level is for aquariums, but I wouldn't recommend it until you get probably some experience under your belt. Auto feeders and rent a camper and bring the dogs. Oh my gosh, excuse me. I've looked into renting campers and it is so expensive. Like, plus I don't want to go through the border 4 times. Like, that does not sound like a good time for me. Maybe his dogs would want to hunt my cat. My pit mix definitely would. He got a smell of a cat at the vet the other day, and he just would not like. We immediately put him in a room, and he was still like, it was like he was staring into the cat's soul, like through the door, through the walls. He knew exactly where that cat was, and that's all he cared about. Other ones are okay with cats, my other dogs, but I've lost all hope with my pit mix being cat friendly. On that note, we are at the 2-hour mark, so we're gonna call it. I want to thank everyone for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Lots of questions tonight, which is even better. Really great. Learned a lot, I hope. And we will be here again. Did I just hear you say hunt? Did I? I don't know. I don't listen to myself, so, you know. Excuse me. Anyways, that's going to do it for this live stream. Like I said, we'll be here next week. If anyone rewatching this has made it this far, thank you so much for the replay crew. I appreciate it. And for everyone who sent a super chat, asked questions, and even the lurkers, thank you so much. I appreciate you all being here. And Janice, thank you right back. 29 months. I appreciate it. And I hope you all have a great week. And I will see you all in a week, I guess.